Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new series here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. Welcome to On the Case with me, Alex Cardinale. This is the series where I will break down and discuss crimes that happen all over the United States and also all over the world. I am a big fan of the television channel Investigation Discovery, and I watch a lot of the crimes that happen on ID Discovery, and I research a lot of them, and I learn so much about these crimes that happen that I feel very comfortable doing a broadcast talking about them. So I figured I would bring back one of my older podcast series that I did many years ago, and I would do it here on my YouTube channel as well as my personal Facebook. So years ago, I did a crime show called On the Case with Alex Cardinale, and now I am bringing it back here on my YouTube channel. So the very first case that I'm going to talk about is one that is very well known because it's often called the Facebook Live shooting murder. It's actually someone getting shot and killed while live on Facebook. Facebook is great for a lot of things. We make a lot of friends on Facebook. We interact with our family on Facebook. We interact with our friends that we haven't seen in a long time on Facebook. But there's also a lot of bad things that happen on Facebook as well. And today's topic is just another example of that. Imagine going live on Facebook to issue an apology to someone, and then there's someone behind you pointing a gun at the back of your head, and you get shot and killed on Facebook for the entire world to see. That is truly, truly devastating. And that is the very first crime that I am going to be talking about. Today's case involves the murder of 27-year-old Renita Williams, who was the mother of 3 kids. She was shot and killed by her ex-boyfriend, Johnathan Robinson. And I'm going to go over the entire details of this case. Now, for those of you who are wondering, is that live video still available? It has been removed on Facebook, but you can still find it. It is available on Google and other websites. I am not going to play that video today because I don't want to get copyrighted. And I don't think people should really be watching someone get murdered on Facebook anyway. But it is out there if you do want to see it. It's a really, really sad story. And I'm going to break down the entire story and the entire crime here on my first episode of On the Case with Alex Cardinale. So, really, this case started in the fall of 2017, and it had the fall of 2017, the winter of 2017, and the winter of 2018, and it led all the way into the spring of 2018. So this was a span of several months, and then it culminated on an April morning in a Facebook Live video, and we're going to cover the entire case. So if you haven't heard about this case, we're going to learn about it today as I discuss it with you. It is the Renita Williams Facebook Live murder case. So if you want to be involved in today's show and you want to share your thoughts on this case, post them in the comments or in the chat, and I would be happy to hear your comments and your thoughts. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video, whether you're watching it live or you're watching the replay of this video. I greatly appreciate it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So I learned about this case on Investigation Discovery's TV show, Web of Lies. And the show was Web of Lies. Episode was Murder Goes Live. And that's how I first learned about this case. So let's hear about what there is to know about this case before we get into the actual murder. And I have some notes that I writ down. So the victim in this case is Renita Williams. Renita Williams was 27 years old at the time of her death. She was a mother of three, and her loved ones described her as a happy and popular person. Her clients loved her, and she was extremely good at her job. They said her only downfall was that she posted everything on social media, especially Facebook. Renita was also not afraid to speak her mind, and her account would often get suspended because of the language she used. She often posted swears and other rated R stuff on her Facebook, which would get her banned from time to time. Now, Renita Williams was dating Johnathan Robinson for 2 years. So they have known each other for 2 years and were dating each other for 2 years. And during this 2 year period, Johnathan Robinson had been seeing another girl named Sharika behind Renita's back. Renita and Sharika both disapproved of each other and made remarks about each other and gossiped about each other, like typical women drama. Johnathan left visits early with Renita to go see Sharika, and likewise, Johnathan left visits with Sharika early to go visit Renita. And this all came to a head in the fall of 2017 because in the fall of 2017, Renita broke off the relationship and told Johnathan it's over. And Johnathan was very upset at this. It later would come back to bite Renita. Renita began dating a new man who knew her cousin. Renita made her new relationship public, but she had to be cautious. Johnathan was from Shreveport, and he wasn't happy with her dating a new man, even though he could date several women at one time. Johnathan would have spies text and call her while she was out with her new man. And one thing to know is that Johnathan was a very controlling man in the relationship. He controlled everything that Renita did, and he also became physically abusive during times of their relationship. So in February 2018, Renita went out with her friends to a club, and she posted where she was on her Facebook. Johnathan showed up at the club very angry and grabbed Renita by her neck and was choking her before he left the club. So he was really upset that Renita was seeing another guy, and he went to the club and choked her out. But here is what led to the crime. It was a feud between Renita and Sharika, Johnathan's two girlfriends. So in March 2018, Sharika started talking about Renita online. She said that she shouldn't mess with Johnathan because he was hers. Renita wanted to defend herself, so she created a Facebook Live talking about how Johnathan was still trying to get back with her. And Renita threw a couple of insults and shades at Johnathan, and that, of course, angered Johnathan, and it led to the crime. So Johnathan saw this, and because Renita wasn't afraid to stand up to him, he was going to make her pay. Remember, Johnathan is very controlling, and he wants to be the one in control, and with Renita, he was not getting that, so he had to take drastic action. Shout out to my friend Jeffrey Edward, who was tuning into the video. He asked, "What's up, broski? How you doing?" I am doing great. How are you? Thank you so much for tuning into my video. I hope you appreciate my first crime video in quite a long time. All right, so that is what led to the shooting. Now let's get to the actual shooting itself. So the shooting happened on April 12th, 2018. On April 12th, 2018, Renita, her brother, and her mother, Anita, were all at home. Johnathan arrived at the home, pounded on the door, and kicked the door in, even though Renita told Johnathan she wanted nothing to do with him anymore. He was holding a gun and immediately held them at gunpoint. He held Renita, her brother, and her mother at gunpoint. Anita told Johnathan that she was going to call the police. Johnathan fired a shot that went just past Anita's head. She was able to escape and run to the neighbor's house to call 911. Johnathan told Renita that she needed to go on Facebook Live and apologize to Sharika because in a video Renita did, she was insulting Sharika and Johnathan, and it enraged Johnathan to the point that where he actually wanted to harm Renita. And Johnathan knew the day that he was going to Renita's house that he was going to actually harm Renita and kill her because he later told police he knew he was going there to kill Renita. And unfortunately, he did. So Renita did get on her brother's Facebook account because her account was suspended once again. And Renita created a live video. And it is that very live video that she was murdered. Renita said in her live video, "Hey y'all, this is Nunu," which is one of her nicknames. "I didn't have any business doing all that. My page had been blocked." Johnathan can be seen pacing back and forth with the shotgun and saying a whole bunch of things like bitches want to be famous, I'll make a bitch famous, things like that. So Johnathan eventually shot Renita in the knee and said, "Now apologize, bitch." Renita apologized to Sharika. After Renita apologized, her brother was able to escape unharmed. Unfortunately, Johnathan shot Renita 4 times and said, "Bitch, game over. And bitch, want to be famous, I'll make her famous." Unfortunately, during those 4 shots, Renita passed away or was very close to passing away, which is very, very sad. So while all of this was going on, the police had arrived, and for an hour they would have a standoff with Johnathan. He fired several shots at the officers outside, wounding one of the police officers. He eventually came out after speaking to Sharika on the phone. She convinced him to put the gun down and walk outside. And Johnathan was arrested for second-degree murder, but he told the police he needed to be charged with first-degree murder. Very, very tragic shooting and a very awful shooting. So that is how the shooting went down. Very, very tragic. I can't imagine being a mother in this case, having to run and call the police at the neighbors, and then realizing your daughter is on Facebook Live practically begging for her life, apologizing for some things that she said, but was eventually shot and later died from her injuries. And her boyfriend, Johnathan Robinson, was holding off the police for 80 minutes. If the police were able to get in there and get to Renita, she could have lived. But basically, Johnathan was holding a severely wounded and fatally wounded Renita hostage, which kind of led to her dying, I think, in my personal opinion. So a very, very tragic case. And it is becoming commonplace now. There are a lot of Facebook Live shootings and murders. It's not just Facebook, but there's been murders on Instagram. There's been murders on YouTube and other social media platforms. People are starting to realize that they can become famous for all the wrong reasons on social media, and murder is one of them. So This happened in 2018, and I can remember living in Massachusetts, and every time I logged on to Twitter, I saw Renita Williams trending for the wrong reason and Jonathan Robinson trending for the wrong reason. And it obviously was because of the shooting that took place in 2018. So Jeff says, dang, sounds like he was a bad dude. Was he from Sumter? No, he was actually from Louisiana. Um, which technically a lot of bad people come from Louisiana, but there are some good people out there as well. So this shooting has me all messed up because I just can't get over having the audacity to record someone live on video and then shoot them on video. That is just that shows no compassion for human life, and it's just morally wrong and awful. Now, I do understand that he was quite upset with what she said about him. She basically was questioning his manhood and throwing insults and stuff. And I know that you shouldn't do that on Facebook, but I don't know if going to that person's house, making them record an apology live on video, and then shooting them 4 times on video is something that I would do if someone called me out on Facebook. I would be angry, but certainly I would not be angry to the point where I'd grab a rifle, head over to that person's house, hold them hostage, and shoot them 4 times, and then hold the police hostage and not let them get to the victim. But some people are crazier than others, and I've seen plenty of crazy people in my life, so you never know what you're going to get into when you meet people online. All right. So let's talk about the sentencing for Jonathan Robinson. So he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now, originally, he was supposed to get the death penalty. The state of Louisiana wanted to make sure that Jonathan Robinson would be sentenced to death. But it was actually Renita Williams' mother that stopped that from happening because she didn't believe in people dying, even though Johnathan killed her daughter. So instead, they agreed on life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus 100 years for shooting at the police officers and wounding that one police officer that was struck by a bullet and injured. So he really had to be off his rocker that day, and he must have been crazy. But he did apologize to Renita's family later on in the court trial. He said he was wrong for his actions, and he regretted doing what he did. But oftentimes, most people that commit murders are only sorry because they got caught, and they have to face the rest of their lives in prison, which is really, really sad. My friend Jeff says, this show is awesome, bro. You are doing an excellent job, my friend. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and learn a little something about a crime that happened in 2018 here in the United States of America that has been very, very talked about, even now, 2021. All right. So I would like to share my thoughts on this particular case. So my first thought is that both Renita and Sharika were in the wrong on this case. They should not have been instigating each other. I think Renita should have just let Sharika do what she was doing and let her talk her shit. And Renita could have just focused on her life and her kids and her new boyfriend. I understand sometimes it's hard to hold your thoughts in your head. I, too, have a tendency to tell people off and share what's on my mind a lot on Facebook, so I'm guilty of doing that as well. But there are some times where you're better off leaving your thoughts in your head. And I think if Renita just ignored Sharika and Johnathan, she would still be alive today. I know that she said some insulting things towards them, and it is what it is. But like I said earlier, I don't know if I can condone shooting somebody on a Facebook Live video. Absolutely not. So I think Johnathan got what he deserved, life in prison without the possibility of parole plus 100 years. So I'm worried that there's going to be more social media murders. I think people are going to use this as like a stepping stone to do even crazier things. But hopefully I'm wrong and that does not happen ever again. But since this tragedy, there's been a few other Facebook shootings. And even before this one, there's been a couple of previous ones. One that I can think of is Steve Stevenson's, who shot an 80-year-old elderly man on Facebook Live. And there's been a couple others even before that. So hopefully people start recognizing that social media is causing damage to society somewhat. People get crazy thoughts in their head. They think of instant fame and they think of harming people that they think harm them on social media. Sometimes it's a bad idea calling people out on social media because you never know how that person is going to react. So those are my thoughts on this particular case. It's a shame a 27-year-old mother of three lost her life, and it's just awful. So I would like to give a moment of silence to Mrs. Renita Williams, who lost her life in 2018. All right, thank you for joining me for that moment of silence, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. One final thought I will talk about, it has nothing to do with this crime, but I always wondered why most men want to have two women when they're in a relationship. Why is two women more important than one? Isn't one woman enough problems as it is? Most women want to spend money, all your money. They want to control you, and they want to control your wallet, take all your money, and then they want to have kids with you and have you pay child support. So imagine doubling that by being with another woman. So you will have 180 problems doing that. So I don't know why you want to date twice. I wouldn't. I would just want to be happy with one person because that way I would not lose all my money. But that is just my thought to end this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed my debut of On the Case with Alex Cardinale here on my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. I'm going to aim to do a On the Case episode each Monday. And next Monday, I have another murder case that I'm going to talk about. On my next episode of On the Case with Alex Cardinale, which takes place next Monday night, I will talk about Landy Martinez, a gay male who was murdered by one of his exes in Florida. And that's going to be a real special show, so make sure you join me for that episode next Monday night on my second episode of On the Case with Alex Cardinale. And make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not subscribed already, the legendary Alex Cardinale. I have wrestling videos, aquarium tropical fish videos, cooking and baking videos, and now crime videos. All right, with that being said, stay safe, stay legendary, and I will see you on the next episode of On the Case with Alex Cardinale right here on the legendary Alex Cardinale YouTube channel. Goodbye, everybody. Legendary Alex Cardinale here to announce the legendary Alex Cardinale subscriber giveaway presented by Texas Roadhouse. This giveaway is for all of you, all 16,000 of you subscribed to my YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. On Sunday, March 6, 2022, I will be celebrating my 8th year as a YouTuber. I will be hosting my 8-year YouTube anniversary. And in order to celebrate that, I'm going to say thank you to my 16,000 subscribers by hosting a prize giveaway presented by Texas Roadhouse. The prize for this giveaway is a customized $75 Texas Roadhouse gift card signed by yours truly, the legendary Alex Cardinale. I will sign the gift card and send it your way. So here is how to enter this contest to win a $75 Texas Roadhouse gift card. Film a video discussing your favorite meal at Texas Roadhouse and your favorite video of mine and favorite thing about my YouTube channel. Now, if you have never eaten at Texas Roadhouse before, then just discuss your favorite video of mine and your favorite thing about my YouTube channel. Email the video to alexgoyankiecardinale19@gmail.com by March 1st, 2022. Anyone that is subscribed to my channel can enter. So I suggest entering so that you can have an all-exclusive entree, appetizer, and dessert, and maybe even a margarita at Texas Roadhouse, courtesy of the legendary Alex Cardinale. So enter right now. Deadline for entry is Tuesday, March 1st, 2022. All video entries will be uploaded to my YouTube channel and the legendary Alex Cardinale subscriber giveaway playlist. Video with the most likes and views wins. The winner will be announced live on March 6th, 2022 during my 8-year YouTube anniversary. Good luck, everybody. Enter now. Remember, entry's deadline is March 1st. Stay legendary, everybody. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas, everyone. Santa Claus Alex Cardinale here, inviting you to be a part of the inaugural Christmas 2021 Bash, airing live just 2 days before Christmas, Thursday, December 23rd, 2021 at 11:15 p.m. Eastern, 8:15 p.m. Pacific. Join me, Santa Claus Alex Cardinale, for a fun Christmas 2021 bash, featuring an appearance from Chef Alex with Chef Alex's best cookie recipes. I have a very important message to give as Santa Claus, and I'll give out Christmas present ideas and so much more. Merry Christmas, everyone, and happy holidays. Mark your calendars, Thursday, December 23rd, 2021, 11:15 p.m. Eastern, 8:15 p.m. Pacific. Christmas 2021 Bash, live right here on Alex's YouTube channel, the legendary Alex Cardinale. See you then, folks. Merry Christmas.